Hello, hello, hello. We're
Hey,
back.
hey, bitches. Did you miss us?
Ah, that was kind of hot.
All
I was like, oh, okay, Laura.
right, let's see. Do you have any? Let me rant real quick.
Oh,
Okay.
Lord.
So you know how my dad came from Mexico?
Oh. Okay, I'm
Okay.
gonna be quiet.
So my dad came from Mexico, y'all, right? And we were sitting down after que nos pasó los dulces and los quesos or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, shout out to my tia Mena. She gave me some nopales that were pretty tasty with some eggs.
Okay, Tia Mena.
And he told me, he was like, if I knew that my certain cousins had came from Mexico.
The ones that emailed us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, I knew this one was in Mexico because, I knew she came back because she went on a trip with one of my uncles, right? But I didn't know about the other one.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, my dad was like smiling when he said it. I'm like, what? And he was like, I heard that they came because they wanted to whoop your ass. I'm like, who wanted? I'm like, and I did like a crazy laugh. I was like, whoop whose ass? And he was like, they wanted to whoop your ass. I was like, well, my tia knows where you live because they're staying with my tia, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, my tia knows where you live. I'm like, if they really wanted to whoop my ass, they could have whooped my ass 2 weeks ago when they got here. I'm like, but they haven't said anything. They haven't been like, hey, Theo, call Laura and have her meet up because I'll be glad to meet them up. Right? And then mom was like, llámale la inmigración para que se las lleve. I'm like, mom. I'm like, who's calling immigration? I was like, I ain't calling immigration. I'll beat their ass. And then Veronica was like, Papa, you really think cause my mom is worried about me getting jumped. And Veronica was like, Mom, you really think I'm gonna let Laura get jumped? Like, if I see her fighting and if it's 2 against 1, I'm gonna jump in.
Yeah.
Right? And then she's like, well, I'm gonna take this cousin. And she said the name.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, fine. I was like, I'll take the scrawny bitch. I'm like, I'm fat. I could take her. And then Tony was like, I told Tony about it, my brother. And he's like, oh, okay. And I was like, yeah. I was like, if I'm getting my ass beat, he's like, I'll jump in and I just throw them against the tree. I'm like, you right, brother. You got this.
Oh
But my dad was just telling me, and he was just like, you're not scared? I'm like, scared of what? I'm like, the only person I'm scared of is this lady right here. Only person I'm scared of is my mom.
Because she be grabbing the nipples and
my
twisting.
mom was like, si te peleas con ella, nada más jálales de las chichis. Well, that's my rant. It's just like, it was just it caught me off guard. You know what I mean?
I don't know why.
It was random.
I don't know why they keep trying to play with you. Like they know how you are.
I was like, well, I'm like, they know where you live. Like, if they show up, all you have to do is be like, mija, aquí están tus primas, and I'm gonna drive my happy. It's gonna take me literally 2 minutes to get there.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, I'm just telling you. I'm like, well, you told me, and now I'm pissed. So, fuck you.
I don't know why they keep trying to play with you.
I think it's funny.
Oh, it is. It's funny. It's just like.
Got anything to rant about? I feel way better ranting. I'm glad to catch you guys up.
Do I have anything to rant about?
Do you?
No, not really. Like, no, not that I can think of.
Yeah, she's really thinking.
I am. No,
not really. All right, get to it.
All right. Well, how are the kids liking school?
Girls are excited. Kimbo's in 7th. Yeah, we're not talking about that in there. She's in 7th. Bella's in 5th. And then Bubba is in pre-K 4. This first week, he's been like, crying, whining and stuff. But I feel like he's doing better now. He just has to get used to it again. Just waking up early and then getting dropped off.
Yeah.
What about your kids?
So, Chiquis started pre-K. So, yay. my house is super quiet, and I don't know what to do.
It was creepy when I walked in, because I was expecting her to come out.
Yeah, no, it's super quiet. That girl, y'all. So I don't know if y'all have seen on the TikTok, but like where all the parents are like, oh, pre-K or, you know, whatever grade the kids are going to, they're like, oh, please be nice to my baby. Yeah, no, I couldn't do that.
She's feral.
My child is feral.
Fucking feral.
She is. And so it's like she had a better day yesterday.
After she ran circles?
So yesterday was what, the third day? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yesterday was the third day. And the first 2 days, they only let us walk them to the class. After that, they have to go in by themselves. Mm-hmm. So Matthew still goes to the school. He's in 5th grade. So I was like, okay, Matthew, I'm like, hold her hand, walk her inside, drop her off. He was like, okay. And so he was like trying to hold her hand and she wouldn't. She was like, no, don't touch me. No, I walk by myself.
She got boundaries, bro.
Girl, she wouldn't even let me hold her hand.
She got boundaries. Leave her alone.
And then so she like made it up to the front in front of the doors. And then after that, like I had to come out of my car because she wasn't going in. So I like stood by the gate, by the street. And I'm like, it's okay. It's okay.
No, you got this.
Yeah. I'm like, go ahead and go inside, mama. Like, it's all good. And she goes, no. Here comes one of the staff members. She's an older lady. Bitch. Ava
took off.
That lady was like running, trying to grab her, and she's like, whoo, whoo, like swerving. And Matthew didn't help at all. He stood there and he was like,
at her. He was over it.
Yeah, he was over it. He's not a morning person, so he was just like,
oh my God.
Looking at
me. I can imagine her going, whoop.
Yeah, like, whoop. Man, she was swerving. The lady finally, like, grabbed her. She grabbed her right here, and she went like that. And she goes, no. I'm like, Ava, go inside. She's like, my mommy. I'm like, it's okay.
But what about your cousin's kid?
And so my cousin's kid, her and Ava are a month apart. So they put their baby into the same school, right? So we have it to where Ava and the baby are in the same class together. And well, my cousin was running late, and so she wasn't there when we dropped off Ava. And she said that she went to get her out of the car and she took off into the back. And like, you know, the baby, she's short and she's real petite. She's really small. So she's fast.
Hell yeah.
So she took that seatbelt off. And when my cousin opened the door, she hopped all the way to the back. And then my cousin went to the back. She hopped to the front. Like, my cousin could not get her.
when Elijah does that shit.
Yeah, man, Ava does it too. Finally, she gets her out of the car. She walks her up to the front. And she's like, okay. She's like, you know, like, you gotta go in. Whatever. No, she went this way, ran into the yard, like the grass area, and was like, crying.
Was your cousin running after her?
She was running after her. Another staff member was running after her, and shit. My cousin was telling me,
COVID babies are fucking feral.
My cousin was telling me, she was like, bitch, she's like, I got a fat ass. She's like that. She's like, the staff member, she had a big ass too. She's like, can you imagine our asses just doing this while we're running?
Oh my God.
She was like, you know how bad my back hurt? But today was better.
That's good. What happened
today? Was better. We got there together. And so we walked the girls up and we took some pictures of them, you know, together. We were trying to make it like, you know, exciting. So they got to wear jeans and a school shirt today. And, like, we were like, okay, hold hands. And we're like taking pictures and stuff. And we're like, are you excited? Like, it's going to be a great day. Yada, yada, yada. Right. And they were like, oh, okay, you know, all excited and stuff. And then so they go in. And I was like, Matthew, he was like, bye, mom. Like, I was like, no, like, you need to take the girls. He was like, oh, okay. And then so he like walks behind them and the baby turns and looks at my cousin and she was like this, but she didn't cry.
She just got teary-eyed.
She got teary-eyed. She didn't cry and she goes, bye. Like, you know, because she talks real low. She goes, bye, Lita. Bye. And she goes, you're going to have a great day, okay? And she goes, okay.
I think they gotta get used to it.
They have to get used to it. And it was like, okay, bye, Mom. I'm like, bye, baby. I'm like, have fun. She goes, okay. And then her and the baby, they were holding hands, and Matthew was walking behind them, and he was like, come on, guys. So today was a lot better.
Yeah, Elijah también. I dropped him off. He didn't cry like he did yesterday, but when I was signing him in or whatever, he was like, Mom. He got teary-eyed, and he held my hand. I was like, I'll see you in a little bit. I was like, if I don't pick you up, Grandpa's gonna pick you up. Okay. Aww. And the teacher was like, all right, well, let's go wash your hands so you can play while your other friends get there and stuff. He goes, okay.
Oh, I was like,
yes!
Lord. Update. So Elisha and Ava are going to get married.
Oh my God.
Elijah made his mom record a video where he was down on one knee and proposing to Ava. And then my poor daughter, andaba toda fodonga. She had like her hair everywhere.
She had a rough fucking day.
She had her hair everywhere, and then she had like glittery lipstick here.
It was bad, y'all.
Bright pink, purple eyeshadow. Like my baby,
she looked toe up.
Yeah. And then so we have a video where she's like, "Yes, Elisha, I marry you." And then my husband's laying next to me. He goes, "No, the fuck, you not." So
Elijah don't take his Nino seriously.
Yeah,
they have that love-hate relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, like our babies are gonna get married.
Yup.
Because the other ones were supposed to get together, and they can't stand each other.
And
so.
they got different
vibes.
They got different types.
Yeah, they got different types. Well, actually, no, because Kimbo and Abel have the same type. Well, just the opposite.
Well, Kimberly she likes, like, you know, the white boys and then the black boys. I don't think she really likes Mexicans.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
You see, Abel hasn't dated a Mexican girl. He dated a white girl, and he's dated 2 black girls. And
Kimberly has not dated. I told her, if, you know, this year, I was like, I know how 7th grade is.
Yes.
So if this year, you know, you happen to like somebody, I would rather you be honest with me and your dad. Not date-wise, but if you end up having a crush or, you know, something like that, let us know.
Yeah.
Because I'm not trying to raise sneaky-ass kids.
Yeah. Now, Abel tells his dad. So I get the tea from Abel.
Okay.
And then he'll be like, girl, when I found out Abel had his first kiss, I was looking at him. And his dad was like, yeah, he's like, you know, Abel was telling me, like, he kissed a girl. And I was like, what? He was like, yeah. I was like, when did he tell you? He's like, when we were bonding. I'm like, when? Like, when did this happen?
Now you're getting upset about it.
Yeah, I was upset. And he was like, it's not the first girl he's kissed. I was like,
the fuck
you mean?
Yeah, the fuck you talking about?
He was like, babe, like, he's had, like, multiple girlfriends.
Excuse me, sir.
And I was like, yeah. I was like, I know he had girlfriends, but I didn't know they were, like, sucking face. And then Lupito was right there. He was, like, whipped around.
How old were you when you started sucking face?
Like, I had my first kiss underneath the table in kindergarten.
You fast little hoe.
I was a fast little hoe.
My first kiss was in 2nd grade.
That reminded me of that H03 song. My first kiss went a little like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my shit.
Mine was in 2nd grade in the playground between the portables.
Okay, I was under a table, not between portables, so who was fast?
Bitch, you were in kindergarten underneath a table.
But the little boy was my sister's friend's brother. Like, it's like Ava and Elisha.
They still haven't kissed, though.
Elisha's kissed Ava.
Not in the mouth?
He kissed her on the lips at New Year's.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. When he said, bye, Ava, and he grabbed her and went like that, and then Ava muffed him.
Well, she gets that from you.
I didn't muff the other one. Your baby kissed my baby.
Well, she let herself?
He grabbed her without her permission.
Hey, they can't be reading these books. That's some book shit right there.
Because even Carlos was like, The fuck?
Hey, he gets that shit from his daddy, because that shit ain't me. Y'all both hoes. Okay.
Oh my god.
You ready to start the emails?
All right.
Okay.
Let's jump into some emails real quick. But yeah, no.
Ma'am. No, ma'am. Go.
So we have 2 scary ones.
Ooh.
And then we have a confession one.
I want to read, give me one. I'll read the first one. I read Graveyard Shift.
Ooh, okay.
Okay. It says, "Hey, Rosie and Laura. My sister stumbled across your podcast on TikTok about a month ago, and we automatically followed you.
Thank you.
Your episodes and content are amazing, and I can't wait for y'all to make it big and actually have a podcast studio, and hopefully y'all can do some Halloween merch soon. So let's get into it. My sister and I work graveyard shift in a nursing home. We have had plenty of scary experiences since we both started working about 6 years ago. My sister has had 3 experiences while working there. She was in a room and felt like someone was watching her. She turned around and there was an old woman staring at her intently. After a moment, the woman disappeared in front of her. The second ghost she saw was an old man in the corner who watched her move. When she looked at the corner after doing some work, the old man was gone. The third and perhaps the craziest was when she was in the kitchen talking to another coworker. She and the coworker noticed the men wearing work clothes, like they were
kitchen stuff.
Like they worked in the kitchen. He opened the fridge door and went inside. They both assumed it was their supervisor. After talking some more, the coworker commented about the men staying in there for too long, and she needed to go in there for something. It's a small walk-in fridge. Only one person can fit inside comfortably. Just as the coworker was about to go check on the person who was in the fridge, the supervisor walks into the kitchen and goes inside the refrigerator. My sister and my coworker both freeze for a moment, and they ask each other if they saw a man walk into the fridge before the supervisor did. And then the supervisor said there was no one ever there. Or mine, it was the night I watched a tall shadow walk into a resident's room. She had been talking that night about going home. She had dementia, so I just redirected her with something like, "Yes, the weather tomorrow will be great for traveling. What a nice idea." And we just kept talking. Nobody had warned me she was a palliative
There
you go.
Yeah.
And she passed that morning after I left. Or another story is after someone died, their call bell just kept going off for a few days. I had a binder fly off a shelf and land at my feet after it was stable for hours. I had taps turn on brushing hard water while the residents would yell at me, "Your relatives are behind me." I've heard a lot of footsteps when no one is around. Hopefully these stories make it onto your podcast. Best of luck. Okay, well, ma'am, I need you to be able to use, commas and periods.
Laura.
It's because they're like run-on sentences. Yeah. I swear, guys, I know how to read. It's just y'all's emails.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Imagine you just working and then a fucking binder just
So I used to work. I used to do like house calls, right? And I used to have to go, like a lot of our patients at the time were like in nursing homes. I for one love nursing homes. I love the dementia ward. I like all of that. Like that was my thing. I loved it. And I remember one time I went, and I've had some crazy patients. I've had some really crazy fucking patients. And I remember this one lady, I went to draw her blood, right? So I had her sitting down in her chair and I had her arm like this and I was squatting, right? And I went to draw her blood and then she starts going like this.
To your hand?
Like to my hand, and she's like this, and then she starts touching my hair, and I'm just like letting her be, because I'm like, you're still like, you're not fighting me. You wanna rub on my arm, my hand, touch my hair, I don't give a fuck. Like, don't fucking move.
Yeah.
Right? But it like really freaked me out because she goes,
oh,
like that.
No.
And I was just like, okay, I was like, little lady's hitting on me. Fine. Fuck it. Whatever. Right?
I have a sugar mama.
Right? And she goes, your skin is just so soft. And I was like, thank you.
That's kind of weird.
But they're
I know,
they're
but that's
like
weird.
old and demented and stuff. You know what I mean?
What if
So
it was a serial killer?
hold on, listen.
Listen, Linda.
And then she goes, I wonder what it would be like if I could wear it. And I was like, wear what?
Bitch, I got goosebumps.
I was like, wear what? She goes, your skin. She's like, if I were to just cut it off and wear it. She's like, it's so soft. And then she like grabbed my hair like that. And I was like this, but I had the needle in her arm. So I'm like, can you let go? And she goes, in a minute. She's like, I'd love to wear your hair. It's so long. Because I had my hair really long then. And I was like, well, you can wear it when I'm done. I was like, there's a needle in your arm. So I need you. I'm almost done. Like
don't move, please.
Yeah. And she was like, just like gripping it. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, creepy. Let go. And she goes, I'm like, fuck, like she got my hair, so I'm like this.
Like I'm not turned on, lady.
I know, I'm like this. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, shit. I'm like, can you feel my skin and then just like tell me how you'd like to wear it? That way, like she could let go.
No, you
I did because she wouldn't let go of my hair. And so she finally let go of my hair. And
pause. That's some white people shit. Don't ever do that.
Bitch, like I had a needle in her fucking arm.
Oh my God.
I was not about to stick her again. No. Let go of my hair. And so she like let go of my hair and she's like touching my skin and she's
bitch,
like,
that's creepy.
She's like, yeah. She was like, I already know, like I would just like cut it like this and just I would put it on and wear
fucking
it.
Lying.
Bitch, no,
bitch,
like,
I got so many
she was like one of my creepiest fucking patients. And I was like, this bitch was on some shit.
That's like some Texas Massacre bullshit.
And then like once I was done, you know, like I bandaged her, like I wrapped her or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I was like, all right. I'm like, we're all done. I was like, I'm leaving. And she goes, she's like, you're not leaving. I was like, yeah.
My heart went to my ass.
I was like, yeah. I was like, I'm leaving. So I'm like prying her hands off my wrist. I was like, I'll be back later though. And she's like, you promise? She's like, you're going to let me cut it? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I'm
used to this.
Yeah.
Man.
I was like, girl, I was like, yeah. I was like, I used to cut myself too. Like, go ahead. You can cut it. Fine. And she was like, but you're going to be back? And I was like, yeah.
Like so hostile?
Yeah. And I was like, yeah. I was like, I'll be back. And she was like, I'm going to wait for you. And I was like, okay. I was like, I'll be
I would have shitted myself,
bro. Like my heart was like, doom. But I'm like, she's old and she's got dementia. Like, fuck, man.
Oh hell no.
And I remember there was another one. I had to go really early in the morning, right? It was super early, so I went. I did his vitals and stuff, but the building was like dead. Mm-hmm. Right, like it was just empty. So they had brought him out because he didn't want me in his room. So I was like, okay, fine. So they brought him out. They brought him to a table, like a dining area. Mm-hmm. And so I was like I was checking his vitals and getting ready to do labs. And then it was this arm. I remember because he was sitting like this, right? So I'm sitting in the chair and I'm like prepping everything, and I put a butterfly needle in his arm. Right? It's a really skinny ones.
Yeah.
Right? So I just put it in. And he like looked at me. He laughed and said, what's that? And ripped it and took off. With the tourniquet still on his arm. And I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, like blood just. And I was like.
That nigga said I was
like, yeah, bro, like he dipped. And I was like, oh my, I was like, hey, I was like, come back. I was trying to chase him, and then you have the staff coming. They're like, what happened? I'm like, he ripped it out and left. So we're like running down trying to get him, and we bring him back, and he was like, that was fun, right? And I was like,
no.
What? I was like, oh my God. Yeah. And that was one time. That one was funny. I had another guy. Every time I saw him, he was a recurrent. Every time I saw him, like, you know, I had my tattoos. I didn't have these, but I still had like some of these. And he's like, you're going to hell.
Because you had tattoos?
Because I had tattoos. And I was like, yeah, I was like, probably. I was like, but it's fine. And then he'll be like, I don't like you. I'm like, that's okay. I'm gonna draw your blood. He's like, He was like, God doesn't like tattoos. I was like, God will be fine. And he was like, you're going to burn. He's like, I can see it. And I was like, that's okay. I'm always hot anyway. And like, Like, but it was funny because the nurse practitioner that I used to work for, right? Because we were all kind of like paired off. So we all had like our doctor or the provider or whatever, right? And bro, she couldn't stand me because I'm like, we're dealing with dementia patients. So the more you argue with them, the more hostile, the more aggressive, the more like they're gonna like tell you you're wrong. Like you're just gonna constantly bump heads, right? So I was always going along with whatever they said, like everything, right? And she fucking hated it because she'd be like, no, like you're just encouraging. I'm like,
they're not gonna remember
they're
what
old
they
and they're not gonna
talk about.
remember in like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm
they're
like,
gonna
just
repeat
go,
themselves again.
just go along with it. Like, why argue? Like, they're not gonna, you know, stop having dementia. They're not gonna stop, like, you know, things like that, right? And then I remember there was one time I went in. I think I told you about it. It was when I had first started, right? So this was years ago. So when I first started, there's this old black lady. I loved her. This one was my favorite. And it was because she riled up my provider so much. My provider could not stand this lady.
What the hell?
She could not stand her. Like nothing. Cause like, man, the lady, that old lady was lit. Like I know for a fact this lady was a fucking vibe in her prime. I know she was. And I remember the first time we went into the rooms and I opened the door and I was like, hey, I was like, you know, I'm so-and-so. I'm going to be your nurse, yada, yada, yada. And she goes, stop. Like, I didn't even get to walk in. I just opened the door. And I was like, okay. And my provider was like, you know, like trying to push me in. I was like, she said, stop. And she was like, don't listen to her. I was like, no. I was like, I need her comfortable. Like, I'm the one that's got to stick a needle in her arm, right? And I was like, what's wrong? And she goes, you have to be careful. And I was like, why? She's like, you don't see them on the floor? And I was like, I see stuff on the floor. Like, there was nothing there. But I was like, I see stuff on the floor. I'm like, but what is it? She goes, they're babies. They're crawling everywhere. So you have to be careful. And I was like, oh, okay.
So you tiptoe.
Yeah, so I was like, well, just tell me where to step. Like, I love encouraging them. That's why she couldn't stand me.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. I was like, so tell me where to step. And so she was like pointing and I'm like, right here. And she goes, yeah. And so I would like do it, right? Until I got to her. And then my provider just walked in. She's like, you're killing them. And I was like, stop. I'm like, you're hurting them. And she goes, there's nothing there. I'm like, there are babies on the floor and you need to stop. And then, like, bitch, I encourage that mainly because I didn't like her, but like, I knew it pissed her off, right?
You should have been like, stop.
Yeah, stop. And then so the lady I was like, you need to stop where she tells you, or because she was aggressive. They already warned us that she was an aggressive patient.
Yeah.
Right? I was like,
so why make it
worse?
Yeah.
Especially when I'm the one that has to get near her. You're going
to be able to run.
Yeah.
I'm not.
You know? And then so she was like, I'm not doing it. I was like, look, I'm like, just go along with it so you can come in and we can leave.
Yeah.
Right? So she did it, but she wasn't happy about it.
She was pissed.
Yeah. And then so like I'm drawing her blood, doing vitals and stuff like that. And I was like, okay. I was like, are there still babies around me? She goes, no. She's like, they left. I'm like, okay. I was like, I can move, right? She's like, yeah. So I stepped away and the provider came up and she was like talking to her. But she's talking to her like a regular patient. Right? And I'm like, she doesn't understand anything that you're saying. I was like, so, you know, like I understand you have to, but like you can try and get it to where she's comfortable because she had a really thick accent. She was an Indian lady, right? And so sometimes you couldn't understand everything that she said, and sometimes when she spoke, she sounded very aggressive.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? And so she would like walked up to the patient, and this lady, I tell you, I loved this lady. I fucking loved her. She was like, I don't like you.
To your provider?
To the provider. And the provider's like, why? I haven't even, she's like, no, I don't like you. If I was younger, I'd fight you. And I was like standing back there with my little bucket and like my bag. And I was like, you know, And she was like, she's like, this isn't going to work. She's like, new doctor.
I love it.
I know. She was a vibe. Like, she was my favorite.
I love
and
it.
the provider was like, well, there's not another doctor here. She's like, so you need to let me. And she was like, no. And I was like, I'm like, the babies are going to come back. I was like, they're going to be back soon. I was like, so just let her do whatever she needs to do. That way we can leave before the babies come back and she doesn't kill them again. And she was like, oh, she's like, you know what?
You're right.
Yeah. You play along with whatever it is. Right? And
Not the provider being the baby killer.
Yeah. The provider's like, there's no baby. I was like, just shut up.
Like, shut the fuck up. She's about to let me draw her fucking blood.
No, I was done. She let me do it. She liked me. The provider had to go and like double check everything and listen and like stuff like that, but she didn't want her touching her. Right? So I was like, just go along with it. And she was like, yeah, she's like, my babies are going to come back. She was like, okay. She was like, just so she can leave. And I was like, yeah, just so she can leave. I was like, when she's done, I'm like 5 minutes.
Babies are coming back.
The babies are going to come back and we'll be gone. And she was like, okay. And so she was like listening to her and stuff. And she was like, you killed my babies. And I was like, oh. She's like, I don't like you. She's like, we're going to have problems. I was like, yeah. I was like, I'm going to hear it when I get in the car. I was like, I'm going to have problems.
I'm going to get in trouble.
Yeah, like, I'm going to get in trouble. And then she goes, like this. And she starts looking at the provider. And she, like, caresses her thigh. And I was laughing. I was trying not to laugh. But I'm dying.
Yeah.
Right? Because her provider was very, like, conservative, very,
oh
like,
my God.
in her ways. You know what I mean? And the provider was like, no, don't touch.
Don't touch me.
Yeah. And then she was like, she was like,
making her uncomfortable.
Yeah, she was like, you know how many bitches I fucked back in my day? And I was like, I said her name and I was like, Miss So-and-so. And she's like, what? She's like, just because I'm old don't mean I wasn't playing the field. And
she was a vibe.
She was a vibe. I loved her.
She lived a good life.
She was such a vibe. And then like when we were getting ready to leave, she was like, she's like, the orgy's about to start. And I was like, the orgy?
Oh,
and she was like, she's like, yeah. She's like, you don't see all these people fucking around me? She's like, I'm about to get in. And I was like, well, you have fun with your orgy. I was like, you do your orgy, baby. It's fine. And then she was like, try to take her clothes off. I'm like, we gotta go. I was like, we need to leave. And she was like, why do you encourage it now? I was like, she was fine.
She's about to have an orgy. Leave her the fuck alone.
I was like, she was fine. I'm like, she let us do what we needed to do. I'm like, had I argued with her, told her there were no babies,
it would have been taken
that
forever.
There was no orgy, I'm like, we'd still be there.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah. So it was just,
I love it.
I loved it. I always had a blast when I went to the nursing homes. I even had a patient one time. She always cried about her baby, but they refused to give her a baby doll. I don't know why.
It would have been easier.
It would have been easier just to give her a baby doll. Bitch, I went and I bought her a baby doll. I did.
Did they get mad?
I didn't give a shit if they got mad or not. I went, because she would always sit at the windowsill in her room and cry, asking for her baby.
Pobrecita.
And we don't know if like
if it happened in the her.
Yeah. You know, I was like, well, maybe like the baby had SIDS or something. Like she lost a baby. And no, like they wouldn't. And they were like, all she does is cry all the time. So that like she was like an every week thing that I had to go see. And so with her, bitch, I went and I bought her a baby doll. I got her like some clothes. I got her fake diapers, little bottle things. I got her all of that. Right. And it was like a whole little set that I got off of Amazon. And then I went and like, I walked in with the baby wrapped in a blanket and had like the diaper bag and stuff. And she goes, you found my baby? I was like, I did. I'm like, here. And I gave it to her. And I was like, the diapers and the milk and all that stuff's right here. She's like, my girl, she didn't cry anymore. Oh. And I don't, like, after I quit, I don't know if they like if she kept it. But every time I seen her, she
had
had
her
the
baby. Oh,
and she didn't cry when I've seen her.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's simple things like that.
I think it just. I'm pretty sure she did have like baby died or something or a miscarriage type shit, and it probably healed her.
So I'm like,
I mean, it's not that hard. Like, but I just feel like you have to have some type of compassion to be a nurse. You can't just be a nurse just because you want to be. Like, you have to have compassion for people.
And it's, I don't know. I find it like, I know money's good sometimes, depending on where you work.
Yeah.
Like things like that. But it's always, I don't know why people or certain providers or staff members, even like nurses and, CNAs and shit, like they just do it because it was the easiest thing to get into, right? But it's like you can play along with, as long as it's not like a health hazard.
Yeah.
Where like you're putting yourself or the patient in danger. Like it's not hard for you to just kind of go along with it. Make it easier. Like they don't remember their family. They don't remember, anything. And if they do, it's like years and years in the past that they're in.
It's like fucking, Grey's Anatomy, right?
Yeah. And it's just like, I don't know. It couldn't be me. I loved my patients. That was my problem. My problem is I get attached to them. I do. I got attached to them, and so I was really sad when I didn't get to go anymore because I was like, damn, I was like, ain't nobody gonna love them like I love them, even if they wanted to cut my skin off. But
I hate you.
I know. It's fine though.
All right, Demon House.
We're gonna jump into Demon House.
This one was kind of creepy.
This one was creepy, yeah. Okay,
I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this little TikTok for this one. So I'm gonna record. Go ahead.
So this one says, Demon House. It says, hey ladies, I moved into our first home ever about 8 months ago. My husband didn't believe in the paranormal, but I did and still do. We have 3 daughters, 17, 15, and 11. We decided to go on a date. We decided to go on a date night and left our oldest daughter in charge. They mentioned that while they were upstairs in their rooms, they heard the front door open and slam shut, thinking we forgot something and came back. My oldest daughter went downstairs but didn't see us and simply didn't think anything of it. 30 minutes later, all 3 girls heard the door open and slam shut again. Mm-hmm. They mentioned they all met in the hallway and huddled together. They went to the oldest sister's room since her room faces the front yard. When we arrived home, they came running downstairs and told us what happened. I was like, what the fuck? And my husband was like, mija, no andas jugando así.
Yeah, like my dad.
It's my dad too. It says, a couple weeks later, me and the hubby had the house to ourselves since the girls were over at their cousin's. Husband was in the living room and I was in the kitchen getting something to snack on. Our house isn't open, so there's a wall between the kitchen and the living room. I can hear my husband talking, but I assumed he was talking on the phone.
I'm trying to imagine it. Okay.
Right? A couple minutes later, I hear him do a panic yell, and I come running out of the kitchen. I ask him why the hell he was screaming like that. Right? Yeah. He said he heard me walk behind him. He felt me kiss the top of his head. I apparently asked him what movie we were going to watch. He said a comedy. He said, I insisted on a Conjuring movie. When he asked me why, I apparently said, I feed off your fear. I feed off your fear and enjoy the fear your daughters felt earlier. When he turned around, all he saw was a black shadow. And that's when he yelled. Last month in our home, I was cleaning the kitchen at night around 9. Girls were getting ready to call it a night since it was a school night. As I'm cleaning the countertops, I got chills. I got goosebumps and felt like something was staring at me. When I turned around, my pantry door was open. Opened slowly. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
That's creepy.
I acted like it didn't happen and tried to hurry up. I finished cleaning up. I went to close the pantry door. Then I was walking out of the kitchen. I reached to turn the light off when all of a sudden my wrist started burning. I ran upstairs. My wrist was red. The next day, I had 3 finger burns, like burned into her wrist. That. Yeah. Or like, yeah. 2 days later, we decided to sell our home. Our home has been on the market for about 2 months now, and we live in a different home that feels way better and doesn't have a heavy feeling. I hope you all enjoy our scary encounter with the paranormal world. Love you, ladies, and until the next episode. Lots of love from Illinois.
Miss Illinois, I need you to message Sam and Kobe so they can go research your house, like do some investigation. How about you give us the no, you know what? No.
Yeah, can you email us the address so we can like look it up?
I want to investigate like what happened there.
We can deep dive in there.
Send us your address.
Yeah, we want it. Like
I want to know like the
we claim no negative energy, but
yeah.
We're
do not attach yourself to me, but I kind of want to know what
I want to look at it. I want to see what it looks like. You know what I mean?
Because even through pictures, you're able to see, like, feel a vibe off of a house. Yes.
Have you, like, do you ever drive by a house and, like, you can feel, like, what that house is like?
Guys, I'm going to upload a picture on our Instagram and TikTok about the house that is right across the street from our parents' house, like, right next door. I took a picture of it.
We posted it on the DFW
and I posted it on the community page or whatever. And I was like, guys, what do you see? Because I like when I took the picture, I was just sending it to Rosie to tell her about the backstory of it, right? But before I said it, Rosie was like, "Why is there a man at the window?" Because there was it looked like
a man, it looked like a construction worker, like not like in like hard hat and stuff, but it just looked like a guy in
all you see was jeans, yeah.
And he was like standing there looking at something,
but
like at a wall.
It looked like he had his hands in his pocket or something, right? Keep in mind the house was empty because it was like early in the morning. I just dropped the kids off at my mom's house.
Yeah.
There was no cars there. The construction workers had finished working on the house for about like 3 weeks before that. And then, so I posted it and people saw the man. People saw a little boy in the corner or something like that. And then they saw like a face at the window.
So I noticed the little boy in the window first.
Because
I pointed it out and I was like, Laura.
Because I even showed my dad and I was like, do you see anything? My dad was like, why is there a person in there? Yeah. And I was like, the house was empty. He's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because I had found it, like, because I was like, oh, like she wants me to look at something because she told me the story about it. And I was like, what the hell? And then, so the picture, we'll upload it on Facebook and stuff. But in the picture, it's the front of the house, right? So, in the very front window right here, you can see the person standing there, like the man or something.
It's like the middle window.
Yeah. And then window. Over here at the very last window on this side, in the very corner down here, you can see a little boy, like outlined. So we had somebody who did like the negative lighting. Is that what it's called?
Like the black lighting?
Like, I don't know, like you make it white.
Yeah,
like,
okay,
like you make it really bright. I think it's the negative lighting. And like, I mean, like you can see the hands, like the little boy's like this, like looking.
Backstory. Okay. So back in the day, they were doing construction at the house and I think they were tearing down some drywall and they found the body of a little boy behind the drywall. And then my dad's friend door neighbors, they would mention that they would hear a little boy in their front yard playing with a ball or something. Because they thought it was like, oh, it's probably like, they thought it was me or Tony. Because at the time when we moved in, I was 3 and Tony was like, what, 7?
Yeah.
So they would tell my dad like, hey, like, I think Tony came to my house, earlier. My dad was like, no. He's like, yeah, like we heard a little boy playing in the front yard and we heard a ball just bouncing. But I was like, no, it wasn't mine. They're like, no, like, and they kept hearing it until one day, I think the lady, she came out to tell like my brother, like, hey, you can come inside because she had sons the same age as Tony. Like, you can come inside and play. You don't have to stay outside. When she went outside, she said that she heard the laughing like towards the edge of the house. So she was walking towards like the back. And when she looked, the little boy, instead of jumping the fence, he just walked through the fence and disappeared.
Laura's hair is standing up.
Oh my God. But I'm going to upload the picture so y'all can see what we're talking about.
Y'all let us know what you think. Because we posted it on the community page.
A lot of people...
And a lot of people were making fun of it. They're like, oh, the doors are... They were talking shit about Laura's car.
It was dirty, y'all. It was dirty.
They're like, your car door's dirty. It needs to be cleaned.
They're like,
y'all are
they're like, oh, they have this. I was like, this is what happens when they have fucking kids, okay? And then there was another lady that said, I think the house is telling you to mind your fucking business. And then I commented, I was like, how about you mind your business and keep scrolling? But I don't take shit personally. I thought it was funny.
It was funny. I was in there reacting at everything.
Too.
I was like, I
would like it. And then the funny comments like that, I would love it.
Yeah. They had me dying in that fucking
But some of them saw stuff I didn't even see.
Yeah. A lot of them, they saw stuff that I didn't see. And I was like, what the hell? And they were like, yeah.
I think because the quote was like, do y'all see anything weird? And then some bitch was like, a for sale sign.
Yeah, no, like it was, I don't know. I saw it and I wasn't even, this was before she told me the story.
Yeah.
She was just like, look at this. And so I was like, I zoomed in so I could try and see like the inside of the house. And so I was just like that. And then that's when I started finding the things. And I'm like,
that's weird.
I'm like, did you see these? And she's like, no. I'm like, bitch, zoom in. And she didn't see it at first. And so I had to circle it. And then when she looked at it, she was like, oh shit. I was like,
I think that's why it's still like right there. Cause it's like, no, bitch, nobody wants haunted. It. My dad was like, let me buy it. I'm like, who fucking live in that bitch? Not me. I'm not gonna be in my room and I hear a little boy cause the construction workers had told my dad if something had happened at the house. My dad was like, no, nada pasó. Sir, you're not gonna tell them?
The hell no. He's like, that ain't my business to be telling them.
One of the construction worker has said that he was, I guess plastering the drywall or something. Yeah. And he was doing that, and there was another construction worker like in the kitchen or something. And while he was doing that, he heard como they were running down the hall, right? And he looked, he was like, estos cabrones me van a hacer una broma. And he looked and he didn't see nothing. And he was like, all right. And he kept plastering, and then he heard it again. But this time it had ran into the room. Mm-hmm. He's like, what the fuck? He was looking around and nothing. So he's like, okay. He was walking out the door when someone was like, a kid. He said the construction worker swears he heard a kid's voice saying, hey. And he said he bolted to the kitchen. And that the guy was like, ¿Qué chingados te pasa? Que no sé qué. And he started telling him. He like, no seas mamón, cabrón. No seas mamón, yeah. Right? And sure enough, when my dad had pulled up, they had came out the house and were asking my dad. And I was like, you couldn't tell them what happened? My dad was like, they gotta hurry up and finish their job because nope.
I don't know, man.
From that street, my dad's next door neighbor, she died in her house right asleep. Mm-hmm. And when people had moved in, they would feel somebody like laying in their bed because her room was in the garage. So the person that will sleep in the garage, they will feel someone on their bed. Like they'll be. Oh,
now I got goosebumps.
Like they will lay down.
Yeah.
And then they will feel something like heavy because she was a big woman, yeah. Right? And she had died in her room. They asked my dad. My dad.
Man, your dad don't be telling nobody nothing.
And then,
he's fired.
And then the house right next door to that one, there was an old man who died there. Because I guess he was dead for a week before his kids showed up or something. He died in his house, and that house has had like police has raided that house. Like it's just ever since he died, right? So every time there's a new person, they've always asked Erica or like the people around them because. The lights flicker. They hear footsteps. The water turns on and off. Look, they hear, like in the middle of the night, they will hear like the cabinets open and then they'll slam like somebody's making something in the kitchen type shit. And I was like, well, the man that lived there was a racist white man. And everybody that has been there, either black or Mexican. So he's probably like, get the fuck out my house.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't move into my neighborhood. We got 3 haunted houses right in front of us.
Oh my God. All right. So that's the end of this episode. So let us know if you've moved into a scary house. Any creepy stories? We got October coming up right around the corner.
We'll save those for October.
We're excited.
Any dementia patient stories?
Yes, I want dementia patient stories. I want hospital stories. Whatever you got, I love those. Let me know like what your opinion is. Like, do you think like as medical staff or medical personnel, like should we,
encourage them?
Not encourage per se, but like, go along with like the patient's antics when they do have Alzheimer's or dementia, and
what's the difference between Alzheimer's and dementia? I'm being like dead honest, because wouldn't it be the same thing?
Yeah, yes and no. There's different.
Google that shit.
I am, because it's been a hot minute.
I would have been like, okay, how the fuck do you know?
I'm over here typing what's the difference in it. The first thing that pops up is what's the difference between bi and pan.
Like, I'm being serious. Like, wouldn't it be the same thing though? Like,
I think
you forget
one is I think one is.
Bitch, you just can't say one is and then cut off at the same time.
It's
Let's see.
Oh, see, there you go. Yeah. So dementia is a general term that describes a range of symptoms affecting memory, thinking, and behavior that interfere with daily life.
Okay.
Alzheimer's disease is a specific brain disease and the most common cause of dementia. So it's like the same thing.
But it's like more progressed or something?
Yes. Yeah. It's just a more progressed
What if I have dementia? Because I'd be forgetting shit.
Because from what I've noticed, the difference between the two is sometimes like dementia patients, they can, they're kind of like, they forget certain things, or they'll stay in like a certain part of like their life. You know what I mean? But then we have like the Alzheimer's patients where sometimes they have like a clarity. Like if I had Alzheimer's, I've noticed that, I can be living in like my teens, so like you're reliving
your teenage
years, but then there's a moment of clarity where it's like, let's say you come and visit me. I'm like, oh, hey, Laura. But I didn't know you when I was like 15. You know what I mean?
Like you have your good days.
Yeah. But then there's times where it like excessively progresses like over time, and it just gets worse.
Oof.
Yeah. Because I know that some Alzheimer's patients, they do, depending on like the person or the day, like they'll come in, like you can go and see them and they'll be like, oh, hey, like how are the grandkids, or how are, how's so-and-so? And then the next day you go and they're like, who the fuck are you?
Okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of like that. It's the same thing, but there's different characteristics to it.
All right, guys. So go ahead and send us your emails at sisterhood.confessions1@gmail.com. Follow us on YouTube, on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, comment, and like the videos. And then what else? I think that's it.
Bye.
Bye.